Hi, and we're back. And again, thank you for joining us at the Select Chicago FDI Conference for 2020. Up next, we have Marco Saladini with the Italian Trade Office. He's going to talk to us today about opportunities with the Italian Trade Office. So again, Marco, thank you very much for coming.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's my pleasure and honor to be invited here. I'm the Trade Commissioner in Chicago, been around since 2017, but the office is much established since much longer. And of course, I mean, as many of our colleagues, and I know you will have or have had some here, many of them belong to the Chicago International Trade Commissioners Association, the SITCA. I try to, propose opportunities for both sides. So in this session, I will be focusing on investment. Of course, we do a lot of trade. We do a lot of trade support and promotion, but investments are also very central to our job. And I will be doing that, trying to focus not only on investment attraction in Italy, but also on investment, Italian investment here in the Chicagoland area. And I don't know if we can have the slides, and if we can, let's move to the first, that is the presentation outline. Thank you. And just stay one moment on the outline. We will have 5 parts. I mean, why Italy, which will be like a quick overview of the Italian economic and business climate. We will talk a little bit about key industries in the second part. The third part will be examples of incentives, of which we have many, but we will just do a quick introduction to 2 of them, and we will talk about the services that my agency offers, just a couple of slides to focus on what we can do for investors. And then we will go to the last part, which is some case studies, let's say, quick slides on Italian investments in Chicagoland, and a couple of other initiatives with a final surprise. So starting from the why Italy, and going straight to the first overview of the Italian advantage. We could say that there are several stats that can describe the position of the Italian economy in the world context. I mean, of course, this is a very dense slide, but I can quickly highlight some of the main points. I mean, the GDP is now 9th in the world, and we are second in the EU for manufacturing. In some goods, of course, we are first, like as mentioned, jewelry and super yachts, but also fashion and leather, where we are second in the world. I mean, there is a lot of activity now in the pharma sector, in pharmaceutical. We are first in the European Union for production of medications or pharmaceuticals. So this is an impressive stat, and also reflects very much in exports and in investments. There in that sector, there is over €1 billion investment every year. Patents are also doing fine. We'll see some more detailed data on that. Cultural assets are very strong. As you know, Italy is the first for UNESCO World Heritage Sites that are 55 in total. So some other quick data. Geographical indications and all the food and agri-food, as you know, as you probably have tasted, is very strong, a very strong indicator of a big asset in that area, in the area of food and wine. We are first in the world for a number of geographical indications. Health is very good. I mean, we are first in the world for standard populations health, and second in terms of longevity, which is not bad to have if you think about it. Aerospace, defense, and security, we're third in the EU, and universities were. Many of them are now coming into the world top ranks in terms of efficiency and prestige. And you can say that it's also very strong, Italy is very strong market, very strong retail and wholesale market, which provide gateways to Europe and Northeast and North Africa and the Middle East. So shall we go like a little more in detail? I mean, we have a foreign direct investment stock of about 480 billion, and a flow that swivels between, let's say, 20 and 40 billion a year. You know, these flows are very erratic, but in 2018 it was 26.5 billion of inward investment, and you can see some big names there. What do they mean? It means that they certify the Italian positioning in terms of investment attractiveness, which is also the subject of the next slide, where we can see the attractiveness index that is developed by A.T. Kearney, where Italy oscillates between the 8th and the 10th position in the ranking. So, I mean, it's quite good considering that we have had our own difficulties, of course, as many other countries in setting straight, you know, the entry points for foreign companies into our administrative and economic system. You know, so it's a challenge. But right now, I mean, it looks like we're taking off, and the role of multinationals in the Italian economy is quite strong if you think about it. Like, okay, in terms of numbers, I mean, we have just a 0.3, which could seem marginal. But when we look at the employees, they account for 8% of the workforce, and the investments, value added and turnover are all hovering around 15–18% of the total. So I mean, that's really strong. But one amazing point is, I don't know if we will be able to see it in the slide, but there is a fifth bar, and it is the R&D expenditure. Multinationals account for 25% of R&D expenditures. What does this mean? It means that companies from overseas are coming and are placing or acquiring research centers. They're investing in highly paid and specialized jobs and facilities in Italy, and that's quite a honor, if I may say. Now, one of the factors that might facilitate that also is the cost of labor. Cost of labor in Italy is quite modest. You can see the mix. The blue bar represents all the tax and other you know, the pension funds cost for the employer, which is, you know, is quite large in Italy. But overall, I mean, the height of the whole bar that is circled with Italy in it, I mean, is not really high. I mean, as compared to the European Union, I mean, we are an affordable country. Just to give you a couple of numbers, in the north, which is the expensive part of Italy, let's say, we have an average of 23,000 to 27,000 for employees, respectively blue collar and administrative, while an engineer fetches about 35,000 euros a year, and a manager 60. So is quite affordable. And we have an R&D productivity that is also quite strong. I mean, we have we're first in the rank of the publication per researcher ranking. Again, that is quite a honor. You know, like, our researchers are quite productive, and we made some examples in the next slide where you can see, I mean, some locations where, you know, that are specifically dedicated to specific subjects or specific fields of research. Like, for instance, all the manufacturing research, I mean, is quite strong in the north, like in the polytechnics of Milan and Turin, while we do have a strong point in Genoa for the safety and optimization of strategic infrastructures. Cybersecurity is very strong in La Sapienza in Rome, and you may think of a system that is integrated in its own within itself, but is also integrating with overseas partners. We have done several study tours both ways into Italy with American researchers and into the US with Italian ones, and we have discovered that there's a very strong relationship between universities and between researchers. So I mean, and many courses are being now taught in English. So this is also a plus, because you can employ people that are already skilled and understand the language. The tax, I mean, is not bad at all. I mean, we are at the middle of the slide at 24% corporate income tax rate. Of course, there are other taxes that burden, and I mean, we're doing our best to work out a easier system, but and a less burdensome system. But there is also a lot of incentives that, in the end, reduce the tax rate, the tax bottom line. So, for instance, I mean, we do have one line of incentives for large investments in the areas of industrial crisis. So this is very rich in terms of also we'll see about it in terms of advantages for investors. We do have several subsidies for R&D investments, of which we will present a couple later on in this presentation. We do have fiscal benefits on several, I mean, on innovation as well, like Industry 4.0, on patents, but also fiscal exemption on capital investments and employment bonuses. And then there is the fiscal and administrative regime for small and medium and micro innovative startups. So this is very important because it provides advantages both on the fiscal side and on the administrative side, simplifying all procedures. So it's easy and convenient also to establish a startup in Italy. One recent thing is the special economic zones that are now trying to implement a switch from supply-side economics to an approach that is based on development factors like using integrated tools that are regional and national at the same time. The companies that operate within these special economic zones are gaining benefits in terms of streamlined custom procedures, and fiscal breaks, and simplified administrative procedure. And the goal is also to promote the growth of companies and attract new ones. So this is a new initiative. It's still developing the special economic zones. And I see we're already at the key industries in manufacturing. Well, we just ride quickly through these. I mean, it's in the healthcare, because I mentioned the advantages in the first place. I mean, in the healthcare we have the three strong points are pharmaceuticals, as I mentioned, with $32 billion manufacturing value and $3 billion yearly in investments. We have biotechnology and at 11.6 turnover or revenue, and we have medical devices at the similar level, but with many more companies. It's more fragmented of a sector, but a very strong export bottom line. And in the green industry, okay, we have the Italian sun. So we can use that, and indeed, I mean, Italy is among the top 10 countries for the capacity of solar photovoltaic energy. And also, we do recycle more than any other country in the EU. 77% of the waste is used for recycling, which is a huge source of income and jobs as well. Machinery is a very, very strong point. I would say with food and wine and agriculture, I mean, and all the agri-food value chain, I mean, is one or two strong points for Italy. I will just mention 50 billion euros turnover in 2018 and 5,000 companies. And just zooming in on the robots industry, Italy is the second largest market in Europe and the 8th market in the world, and we make 8,000 robots per year. Fashion and furniture, never to be forgotten, of course. We do have a strong point there too. Second in the world and first in the EU for market share. As I was mentioning, you see some familiar brands there if you go to the malls and shop around. And in wood furniture also, we are very strong. We are second only to China in terms of trade balance in the recent year. Aerospace and automotive, aerospace is less well known. Automotive is probably after the movie Ford versus Fiat, or Fiat versus Ford, I don't remember, but it's very present in every cinema gore mind. But I mean, for aerospace, we do have a 16 billion turnover in 2018 with 6 billion exports and 50,000 direct and 230,000 indirect employees in 2018. So it's not marginal, and is operating also together with the Airbus complex and with the Boeing complex to provide precision parts and precision processes. Chemical and agri-food chemical is coming back and very, very strongly. Agri-food we mentioned. I mean, Italy is the second largest. Agri-food is the second largest manufacturing sector in Italy after machinery, as I was saying, and it boasts a turnover of 150 billion euros in 2018. Coming to an end with this part of the sectors, which of course I can describe only quickly, I would like to give you now a flavor of what can be the landing in Italy in terms of subsidies. And here we have Smart and Start. I just can mention two, as I said, but Smart and Start is aimed at smaller companies that are innovative and small. And all companies start like that, more or less, I mean, especially startups start like that. So this is a subsidy that affords a 24 months period, I mean, of benefiting from it, and the valuation procedure is only 60 days. It can be also used by companies that are based overseas, as long as they have a branch in Italy. So this is so convenient. If you want to enter the market, you already have an idea, you already have some asset to develop in the market. And, you can open a branch in Italy and apply for this subsidy. What's the precondition? You need to have a strong technological dimension and operate in the digital economy, and also probably come from a research background or have some connection with research, because of course this will help you in your idea development. Now, the loans for this are interest-free up to 70% of the total investment, and which can raise also to 80% under certain conditions, and there are grants for 70% of the loan amount. So basically, if you do the math, for half of your investment in the south. The loan repayment duration is 10 years, so it's very long and very comfortable. Now, the eligible expenses on this are actually very, very broad. You can fund anything from software to interest on external financing, hardware, patents, you name it. Now, the second incentive I want to mention is a little for companies that are a little bit bigger, okay, that actually they're medium-sized companies who can develop and can roll out a project of worth 5 to 40 million euros. So we're talking big guys. And these, the sectors where this is applicable are smart factories, agri-food, and life science. Of course, the innovative component has to be there as well. I focused on this because I really think that there is a potential to integrate investments in R&D in Italy, given the setting that I described before. Companies, I mean, should carry out industrial activity that is for production of goods or services, also transport activities, or agri-food companies also can apply. Research centers, farms, so it's quite broad. The projects can last for up to 3 years, and there is a 20% grant for these projects, so quite substantial, I would say. And then also a subsidized loan up to 20% of the eligible costs. Eligible expenses are not as wide as in the other case, but it's pretty wide as well. And I will not dwell on them in detail, but I mean, once you develop the project, they will be clear to you. Now, in this respect, I mean, we work with with Invitalia, which is one of the logos that you can see at the top. ITA is my agency's logo, but Invitalia is the logo of the specialized agency of the Italian government that we work with that can provide advisory. They can open doors, okay? So they will take care of the technical aspects of evaluating the projects, of making sure that your project goes through smoothly. The fourth part of my presentation is about the activities that we carry out and as an agency to attract investment. So I talked about Invitalia, and that is fully integrated with I think about 10 people working directly in our offices, so fully integrated in our investment attraction operation. We have desks in several countries, including 2 in the US. We have one in San Francisco and one in New York, and we might be looking into opening other ones in the US because we are growing in that respect. But we also have them in several other countries in the world. And we do offer some products which are technological and manufacturing projects ready to be invested in, real estate portfolio, properties that could work out for foreign investors, and also opportunities in infrastructure and logistics. The service that the unit provides are the analysis of the incentives, the analysis of sectoral competitive advantages, excuse me, and also we provide support service. Which support services do we provide? Location scouting and site visit, authorizations, permits, human resources, liaison office with the local authorities, advisory and financial scouting, foreign investor scouting, to enhance your partnership, and of course market research, and these are free of charge. And now I'm sure that this compares well with local activities of local municipalities and other bodies, and I really do hope that there could be some dialogue also on the technicalities of this, because I mean we're an agency and we're willing also to talk to colleagues about how to do business and how to improve each other's perception and knowledge of the trade secrets of the trade. Not secrets, but the trade tools, let's say. Okay, so coming to the other way around, okay, the Italian investments in Chicagoland, and I guess we have a few minutes still, like 5-7 minutes to talk about that. Well, let's start from the big picture, okay, the Italian FDI in the US. Here we're talking about a stock of 43 billion euros with about 80,000 US workers employed, and an expense of about $200 million yearly in research and development, with 1.4 billion worth in exports from Italian subsidiaries that are based here. So this means that there is a contribution in terms of export of 1.4 billion to the bottom line of this country by Italian subsidiaries. It's been growing, these figures oscillate, but I mean, in 2019, which is the last year we had a 44, as we said, $1 billion stock in the U.S. as compared to 38 in 2018. So in 1 year only, the 5 billion investment were added to the overall stock. Stock, of course, is calculated, inflow minus outflows, so it's complicated to understand. But I mean, it's a good number, and overall there was a 13% increase. Which are the top industrial sectors? Industrial equipment, as we mentioned, is very, very strong. Auto components also is pretty good. And then we have renewable energy, food and beverages, metals, and software and IT services. We have really a concentration in high-tech sectors, and in particular in the local economies within the greater Chicagoland area. So these are highly skilled jobs that are being added to the local community. Our office, receives requests from time to time to support inbound FDI, not so many companies, because also here there is a very strong support activity by SelectChicago and by private sector firms, lawyers, by banks. So we recognize the value of that, and we take a step back, because we understand that the professionals in each sector can do a very good job in support of our companies. But we are a first port of entry, let's say, for many smaller companies that don't really know how to look around. So we address them, we address their needs, and we direct them, let's say, to the professionals and to the resources, to the administrations that are around. And we monitor a little bit, what's going on, very respectfully, asking companies if they want to be on our map. We have a map. You can see that in the screen, and it's a very nice tool. You can zoom out, zoom in, and look at the various investments that we have. And in the presentation that you will receive, there will be a live link to the version of the map. Now let's look at companies. We have Barilla. Barilla has a 34% market share in the pasta market in the U.S., the dry pasta markets, and it's based here, believe it or not, but only the headquarters are here, while the factories are in Iowa and in New York. New York to serve, of course, the East Coast, which is an avid eater of the product. And they started in 1996 in the U.S., and there's less than 25 years, they made this jump, and now they employ 530 people, of which 160 in Northbrook, right here, at the border, northern border of Chicago. And then we have more. We made some example. The slide is very dense, but and you can look at details later. Well, we can switch to the next one and look at Prima Power. No, just the one in between, please. Prima Power is in the mechanical industry. Machinery is what they make. They have 10,000 systems installed worldwide. And the Illinois facility, which they have in Arlington Heights, does host a showroom that features its advanced manufacturing machinery solutions, so something that the interested people can go and check out on a daily basis. There is an interesting partnership also, Starsu, one company from Italy, one company here in the tool production and sales and repair segment of the metalworking machinery industry. They're very efficient. I visited their facility. It's a small but very advanced operation. Ingersoll has been a big name in the area of Rockford, Illinois, and has been acquired by Camozzi in Italy. They make amazing equipment. I've been there, and they do 3D printers that are 3-story high. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, so and they machine engines, and they machine a lot of things because they're strong in tools, and they're strong in this kind of equipment. Reply is a software company. They actually employ 300 people in the U.S., and they came fairly recently, not less than 10 years ago, and they're really strong in strategic IT consulting and in software systems development. They have a revenue of $1 billion worldwide, and they're still growing in the U.S. I have a couple of more examples. Okay, Omelet is also in machinery, and they make a very specific component, electro spindles and double rotation heads, but they've been in the market for 70 years. They're consistently innovating and being at the forefront, and they came through our office to look around and establish their presence here. And they landed in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. And Rana, how can we forget? I mean, they opened the first factory in 2012, and this has been an amazing success story. I mean, they innovated in packaging and in recipes to adapt to the local market. You can find them, of course, in most supermarkets, as you may be aware of. They grew incredibly. I mean, with their presence here uplifted the whole fresh pasta market, which was declining by 15% in just a few years, and they're building a second factory. Now, I'll steal one more minute to talk about an initiative that we did in 2019 with the help also of several local partners. It's the Excellence in Training, or Italian Knowledge Center, that we were thinking to launch, and we were starting to design with the help of, as I said, administrations, universities, and schools. So we did a survey. The survey found that the demand for excellence-oriented training initiative is very high, not only among Italian-owned, but also with users of Italian technology. It's mostly related to supervisors and operators, and of course, it's also into commercial and trade activities. And the demand is mostly for in-house training or close to the plants, but 3/4 would use also off-site training. So it's good because there is availability to do that. Surprise, at the end, as I mentioned, we will have a very strong contingent of companies, young entrepreneurs, coming very soon in 2021, as soon as we can resume flights and movement across borders, to incubate here for 2 months. So we're now selecting the incubators and starting to work in practice this program that has been going on for a while in the selection stage and in the training stage in Italy. So we will have these young entrepreneurs coming, and we will have pitching events. Please keep an eye on our hashtags and pages so that you will be able to take part. And of course, we're trying to establish networking opportunities for them through anyone who's willing to help. That's my presentation for today.
Wonderful. Do you have some time for questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so this was great. It was wonderful to learn more about Italy and the opportunities from Chicago area companies that can look to expand into Italy as a foothold into the EU. And so that would also be a very good piece when people have questions about expanding, especially say automotive. There's a lot of automotive companies in the Midwest that may wish to be expanding and working on some of their technology coming into Italy. And then vice versa with the companies that were coming in. You and I had a chance to talk or with your office over the last couple of months, and you had mentioned roughly 20 to 24 different companies a year use your office to look at that first step in creating a foothold. So can you talk about that process for how that works? Because a lot of different people abroad want to know what that feels like for a company.
Yeah. I mean, There are several challenges. I mean, from product adaptation to having a clear understanding of procedures, administrative procedures, which are simple but different, and also, I mean, looking for workforce. So we can help with giving companies an overview of these. I mean, we do not have specialized personnel for in the areas of tax or law or you know, also like technical. So, but we can help with finding, building like a long list or short list of professionals in different areas. We can also just pre-interview them so that to make things smoother. We can offer a facility that we have, like a shared office inside our office, which is convenient and cheap. And we will definitely do Zoom and webinar conversations to introduce. And we have a network here, a small network, but efficient, with all the states that are in our area of territorial competence that we can talk to, so that we can also act as, let's say, a neutral information broker that presents the information in a third-party way. Okay, so you know, everybody wants to basically do business, right?
No,
we are government, so you know, we can put everything on the table and let people look at it.
Yeah,
you know?
we'd call that helping them make an informed decision.
Correct.
And how many states does your office cover?
I believe 14, yeah.
Okay,
But,
and that's typical of there's roughly how many trade offices, international trade offices in Chicago?
you mean similar to mine, but from different countries?
Yes, sir.
I think more than 60.
Yeah, I mean, and
As
that's
far as
why
I
this
can
is
remember,
such a huge hub
Yeah.
for
so-
that. And most all the offices I know that I work with are mainly 12 to 14 states.
Yeah.
Is their
It's the Midwest,
there's
yeah.
Midwest, and this is actually why we do not have state borders as part of what we do. And your map with the interactive map that you'd shown a couple slides ago, I think that's wonderful. So when anybody goes online and takes
Yeah.
some time to zoom out, they can see just so much opportunity of Italian companies and Italian-held companies working in the area. And so this is great. I know we had a couple of questions, so Cassandra's going to read.
Yeah.
I think we got one or two or three in there. So we have just about 3 minutes or 4 minutes to finish up. And so again, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Can you explore the cultural business differences between northern and southern Italy?
Both parts of Italy are very entrepreneurial, but there has been historically, I mean, industry has taken a much bigger role in the north. There is abundance of flat land. There is a very strong connection with the rest of Europe. There has been land, so-called revolution, I mean, in the 1800s, there earlier and deeper than in other places, you know. So this influences the mentality of people, both when doing business or when just working as employees. I mean, it's a more open and modern mentality, which doesn't mean that in the South, I mean, this kind of mentality is not there, because of course people have moved across Italy a lot, you know, in the post-Second World War era, and so across, and then to Europe, and then into the world, also from the South. So you know, it's been growing a lot, and we do have R&D districts in the South right now. I mean, there is in Catania a very strong electronics cluster, believe it or not. So I mean, things are changing, but the South is a little less energetic, you know, when it comes to entrepreneurship, but it's getting there, you know, and we're hoping to do a lot. Actually, we have an initiative that brings investors to check out projects, R&D and innovative projects in the South, in the regions of the South. It's called the BIAT, and we take people there, so we sponsor their trip. So if anybody is interested in checking out the South, I mean, we're very happy to consider that.
Yeah, I think University of Wisconsin at Parkside has a program that brings businesses to Italy each summer. I don't think they
nice.
ran it this summer, but in past, I know they've been encouraging me to go with them, and I definitely have that on my agenda in the next 2 to 3 years.
Great, you have to tell me everything about it, Michael.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's good.
and
Thank you.
yeah, I'll happily make that connection with the director of that program.
Please.
And I think we have time for one more question.
How do you expect Italy's population to grow over the next decade?
Well, I mean, we're not anticipating a growth. I must be frank with you. I mean, the Italian population has been stable, and as in many other places in Europe, the main growth factor has been immigration. So, but this balances with an attitude of Italians to sort of be a little bit conservative about when it comes to having children. So, be cautious, but that also relates to the high density of the population in some cities, you know, the difficulties with real estate and finding a job, you know. So, I mean, all this has been balancing, and so that the population is kind of stable right now. That doesn't mean that the economy is not growing, but of course we miss the push and the thrust that you have here from sizably bigger immigration, at least so far, or at least up until a few years ago, and of course the space, the immense space that you have here, you know, which is a factor of growth per se. But it's a dynamic economy, and we supplement that factor with creativity and longevity. And so those two things are driving factors that add to the population being stable and not decreasing anymore. So
That's great. I
Yeah.
mean, there are a lot of countries worldwide that are having very quickly losing their population. And it's
True.
great to hear about Italy being, you know, having a stable population.
Yeah.
And so that is great news. And there's definitely, what I'm hearing is a lot of opportunity that's available in Italy. And then there's also a lot of businesses that would like to capitalize on expanding into the U.S. market.
Yes, I believe so, and we'll be very happy to work with you on those.
Yeah, and Marco, I want to thank you very much for coming down to the Monadnock building today and spending your morning with us.
It's a wonderful place. You're a wonderful host. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.